What's up everyone? First things first, happy 2020. I hope you had an amazing 2019. My name is Kaz and I'm. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am by profession a musician and I have been doing so for the past 12 years. I currently play in a cover band called Nation One and I play the bass and I also direct the music. There are many types of musicians. Some play original music, some back up big artists or doing tours and doing musicals. I unfortunately fall into the deep hole of nightclub musician, playing cover songs to a bunch of drunk people. But don't get me wrong, I chose this path and I love what I do. Everything that I know about music today basically is from YouTube or from my peers or my seniors from the night scene. And some of the most genuine people I know are these people who watch me perform regularly, and most of them are my good friends today. Now, why did I choose to be a nightclub musician? See, I was in an original band back in the day, a local ska band called Comic Strip. Some of you might have heard of us. Most of you don't even know we exist, but I can tell you we were young, wild and free. I was 17 and like any 17-year-old boy, I had dreams to be a rock star. I practiced hard in my craft and I masturbated a lot. We wrote songs, recorded an album. We were blowing up in the underground scene in Singapore. Before we know it, we were adults. We started working. Everyone was busy, including myself. By this time, I was already in the nightclub scene. Some of us got married, others were busy working. We just drifted apart as a band because back in those days it was practically impossible to earn a living solely by being an original musician. But those were the good old days and we are still good friends today. We still meet up a few times in a year, catch up, have dinner at each other's places. So yep, original music just wasn't going to cut it for me. But what about being a session musician? Why didn't I choose the path? I did choose the path, but the path didn't choose me. Okay, this might sound a bit odd to some of you, but I can't read music. Yes guys, not all musicians can read music, but I did go to LaSalle for one semester and then I was struggling, so I withdrew myself. Reading music was just too hard for me. Like, for me, I just want to play and I don't want to stress myself. See, the reason I dropped out of secondary school was because I hated learning. And being in LaSalle was kind of like back to square one, doing what I hated the most, school. But this is just me. I'm not saying that you don't have to go to school. Kids, please stay in school. I'm not saying you don't have to read music or learn music to be a musician. It is still the ideal way of being a musician. Reading music means you can get more gigs and more opportunities. You can back up big artists, you can go on tours, or you can do musicals. These big cats read music. It can also save you a lot of rehearsal time because when you're doing a big show or a musical, the music director would just hand you down the music sheet and all you have to do is just look and then you can play. So all of these reasons naturally become the reason why I don't teach music. It's because I never learned to read. But I guess I do benefit from not reading music. I have over 400 songs on the top of my head because I have to memorize all the songs that I need for work. I guess the one reason all musicians want to play is because they want to have fun, and I guess every musician have fun in a slightly different way. Like every job, it does wear you off and it kind of gets stagnant sometimes. I mean, there are days where I just drag myself to work because I couldn't be bothered. I'm playing the same old songs. There are days I just drag myself to work and I question myself, how long am I going to be doing this as a career? Or I'm still doing the same thing I was doing like 10 years ago or 12 years ago or 20 years ago. Unlike a normal job where you can get promoted, like if you start as a salesman or a waiter, you can get promoted to being a supervisor and then you get to be the manager and probably the president of the company, blah blah blah. But as a musician, I started out as a bassist. 12 years later, I'm still a bassist. Although I may draw a slightly higher salary than I was 12 years ago, but the only reason is because I'm a music director in my band. I don't read music, but I am the music director. How does it work? Simple. None of my band members can read music either. So the next thing comes to mind. What do I do when I get stagnant or too comfortable? The answer is, I get creative. In 2016, Nation 1 was only a year old and we've had to change our keyboardist 3 times in a span of 6 months. So when the third keyboardist decided to leave the band, I was like, F it, I'm done with rehearsing over and over again every time we change a keyboardist. So I went home, watched a ton of YouTube videos and downloaded softwares. I learned how to program keyboard parts with my little knowledge of piano playing. For 2 weeks, I only got out of the house when I'm going to work. Otherwise, I'll be on a coffee diet, learning as much as I could and programming keyboard parts for as many songs as I could afford within the 2 weeks that I had. I managed to program about 100 songs. Fast forward 2 years and 300 songs later, I noticed I was getting faster and better. I was investing time and money and I really enjoy what I do. I woke up one day and decided I want to produce music. I mean, I'm programming all these cover songs for my cover band anyway. I've learned a lot over the past 2 years programming music and I've equipped myself with quite the knowledge. I wanted to be heard and I want to explore the other sides of music. So in 28th of April 2018, I started my own music production company, Mueza Productions. Being a music producer have helped me become more productive and more creative. It constantly requires my brain juice and it helps me open up my musical palette. You see, back then when I was playing with Comic Strip, I was listening to strictly underground music. I was only listening to ska and punk rock music. And when I started the nightclub scene, I totally stopped listening to all underground music and listened to exclusively mainstream music because it is a requirement in the nature of my job. Being a music producer, I am positively forced to listen to as many genres as I can as possible. To increase gig opportunities. I can't be choosy to who I want to or who I don't want to produce for. It is a business after all. So I have basically spent the last few years exploring the depths of music and music production. I've also had the honor to work with local artists such as Nana Karya, Zalelo, Ace Iksan, Madman, The Punamas, and recently I did Tribe. I understand it's not an impressive portfolio for a 2-year-old company, but I am proud of these little milestones that I have achieved. I mean, I would really like it if I get to produce bigger names or I get to work with other producers alike, but there is one problem. I am an introvert by nature. People close to me knows how introverted I am and how bad I am at breaking the ice or small talks or meeting new people. And to top it all off, I do suffer from anxiety disorder since 2015. So that hasn't helped me even in the slightest way. In fact, it made my social skills atrocious. So now we've come to this point. Why would I want to start a YouTube channel and start vlogging? The honest answer is, I would like people to get to know me better. I want people to know who I am and what I do. Not in a flaunting or a show-off kind of way. I mean, look at this face. Does it look like I can flaunt anything? I guess it would be good for me socially and it would be good for business as well. So here's my plan for 2020. For the next 52 weeks, I will be releasing a video every Friday documenting my life as a musician, my journey as a music producer, and my battle with anxiety disorder, and probably my personal life as well. I hope to connect with more people, be it a musician, a music producer, a vlogger, someone who is battling anxiety, practically everyone and anyone. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook and Instagram, talk to me on Twitter, ask me questions, leave a comment below. My name is Kaz, that's all the time we have for this video. Be nice to everyone and I'll see you next week. Cabut!